Okay, first step is to pull off your coilovers. It's just 3 bolts at the top, 1 bolt at the bottom. Get that out of the way on both sides. You're going to want to drop your truck down onto its bump stops so it stuffs the tire all the way up in the wheel well. And then you're going to want to start turning your tires back and forth, see all the contact spots. Take a soapstone or a marker and start marking the spots where you see contact. Doesn't need to be exact, just approximate lines to where you're going to start cutting. Once you get in there, you'll know how much more you need to cut. Next, you're pulling off your kick panel covers so you can get access to the back of the footwell. Get some screws. Then you're going to want to pull all the electronics off. There's a couple bolts in there. Pull everything out of the way so that when you're grinding and welding, there's no chance of you hitting any wires or burning anything. Next, get your tires and wheels out of the way and start cutting. It's just a matter of cutting each layer off. Take off too little rather than too much. Just cut, peel, cut, peel. It's going to be 3 or 4 layers in there, so it's going to take a while. Once everything is cut and out of the way, you're going to want to put your tires back on and start checking for clearances. Full turn, full stuff, just like before. Make sure you're clearing all the way around. Then it's time to start making your new pieces to cover the patches. I used 18 gauge. I used old manila folders for this because they're a little bit thinner than cardboard. Easier to shape since your panels aren't going to be perfectly flat. They're also easy to transfer when you have dirty fingers. Once you get all your panels cut and put into place, you're going to want to tack them in, clean everything up, and then go ahead and start welding everything nice and slow. I didn't get any footage of the welding, my camera died, but here's the end result before I cleaned it up. After I cleaned it up, I put seam sealer on the interior of the vehicle, and then on the outside, I cleaned it up really well, and I used 3M rubberized undercoating. I used a full can on both sides to really make it look good and thick and be protected long term. It's the best stuff I've used. I like it better than the Rust-Oleum. You may have to trim your kick panel to get it back in place, but I trimmed mine and got it back in, and it's barely noticeable. The last step is going to be trimming the outer fenders. Just put them back on the vehicle, drop it again down onto the bump stops, see where contact is occurring. I ended up trimming mine about 1.5 inches through the first 3/4 of the panel, and in the back I took about 2 inches because that's where the most contact was. So really take your time with this fender cut. Take a little bit of metal off at a time so you can get a nice smooth sweeping motion. You don't want to try to cut too much, you'll get chunky edges. Once you get through, you can do whatever you want. I was going to put fender flares on, but I decided to just go ahead and finish the edge with a piece of door trim and leave it as is.